Welcome to Mommy's Chef. My name is Heidi and today we're gonna make kids food. And the thing about kids, they're picky. They're picky because they have really sensitive palates. So they're young, their palates are developing, so they're not used to a lot of spices, and that's why they liked things separate. The chicken in one thing, the vegetables in another, so they can taste things separately. Once you introduce things, you can move on to like more complicated dishes with more spices and so on, and develop their palate in a way that they would enjoy, and you're not gonna get so frustrated. If you have a trouble with your kids eating vegetables, try roasting your vegetables. You can roast any vegetables, so it brings out their sweetness and takes away that bitterness that vegetables have. So try to do that, and it's super helpful for the kids to eat vegetables. And try to say, oh my god, it's like broccoli, oh my god, you're eating little trees. Or like for like nori strips, like seaweed, I tell them, oh, you're eating paper. That's what I did when they were little. Now they just eat it. You know, they have no choice. I don't make separate kid food and so on for them. I've always fed them whatever we're eating and whatever we're making. I don't think it was clear, but this video is to please kids, not to give them vegetables and so on. So it's just like really kid-friendly food. So I know I'm just giving you suggestions if your kids have trouble eating vegetables, but that's what I'm trying to make, like the mac and cheese super, not bland, but make it taste like kid-friendly and so on. And the granola, it's just perfection. Okay, because that's how I was raised, but I wasn't raised in the United States, and that comes another point. So today I'm making manwish. This was something that I didn't have growing up very much because I didn't grow up in the United States, and when I came to the US, they had it for lunch in the cafeteria. My grandma wouldn't allow us to eat there because she thought everything was junk. So sometimes I snuck in some, and I thought it was delicious. What is this? And when I grew up, I bought the can thing. I thought it was so disgusting. So I'm making a version, like a more gourmet version, and the best mac and cheese you'll ever have. If you want a really basic mac and cheese recipe, this one's yours. But I'm gonna make some granola because the kids always want granola, and it's a pretty simple vanilla almond granola, but it's amazing. But okay, stick around, I'll show you all my recipes. Okay, I'm gonna start chopping about a cup of almonds. I'm gonna add extra virgin olive oil, a very good one. 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup, and this one's organic, but anything you have is fine. 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and whisk that together. Look how thick that's become. I just whisked it a little bit. I'm gonna add my heaping cup of almonds, 3 cups of oats, 1/2 cup of sugar, just regular sugar, anything you have around. I add it towards the end because you want that little crunch afterwards. And the olive oil was actually 1/3 of a cup, not 1/2 cup, sorry. Mix that together really well. I'm gonna dump the whole thing in a cookie sheet with parchment paper, and then spread that as evenly as possible. And then once we bake this, I'm gonna bake it kind of low. For me, 350 is pretty low. And keep your eye on it because once it starts caramelizing, it goes by really quick. So make sure you keep a very close eye on it. Look at that big tray of granola. Isn't that cool? Pop in the oven. There it is baking. Smells so good. Okay, it's been 10 minutes and it looks pretty good. You know what? I'm going to turn off the oven and keep it in there. And just leave the residual heat kind of brown a little bit, I guess. So that's what I usually do, because if not, if I keep the oven on, within a minute it just turns super dark. You don't want that. I'm just gonna keep the oven shut for like 10 minutes and then I'll check. Oh, and I turned it off, by the way. Okay, it's perfection. It looks more golden brown in real life than in here, but it's beautiful and it's perfect. Your granola, boo boo. What are you making? I just made your granola. Yay! And it's all in chunks. That's why I like it, you know? Perfect. Perfect little chunks. Look at the almonds. They're just so good, too. Okay, so I'm going to dice 1 pepper, and I had a little bit of this one left, so I'm going to add it to that. That's homegrown, actually. And I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic and 1 onion. So I'm going to dice those guys up. About like 2 tablespoons of olive oil to my pan. I just used the Costco one. Go my vegetables. Make sure you're on low when you add oil because or else it's splatter. Because the onions and the peppers have a lot of water, so you don't want to be hit with that like I did. It's okay. I need a break. I'm good. You know what? I was so excited and about my vegetables. I made a mistake, but I'm gonna correct it. I was supposed to brown my beef first and then my vegetables. So I'm just gonna pour my vegetables into a bowl. Okay, I'm gonna start sauteing my ground beef. And there's still a little bit of oil butter left, but I'm gonna add a little bit more. Turn it and start sauteing that guy. Start browning that meat. The pepper, maybe half a teaspoon. A little bit of salt, like 1 teaspoon. Okay, the reason you want to saute your beef first because you want to create those brown bits on the bottom. Because those brown bits equal flavor. See? And once when we add our vegetables are going to deglaze our pot. So bring all those caramelization to the whole thing. Get all the way through. You don't have to. Just as long as you cook the whole thing. By the time the onions are cooked, the meat is also going to be cooked as well. So you want to saute your vegetables until the onions are translucent. And that doesn't take that long. Okay, for flavorings, I'm going to add like 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. And this is just going to add to the depth of flavor. I like having this squeezy tool around because you can just use a little bit and it really adds so much flavor to any of this that you add. That you make, actually. Oh, the meat's looking great. Okay. Just sizzling away. The onions are almost done. Once they're done, I'm going to add my ketchup. Yep, that's the secret ingredient. And I'm going to add like a cup of ketchup. Stir that together and I'm going to add my secret ingredient. A dash of cinnamon. And there's cinnamon in ketchup, so I'm just bringing out the flavor without making the ketchup itself. I was gonna make my own ketchup, but why bother? You can't mess with Heinz. You know what I mean? So just add your ketchup and just a little bit. It's just like a little sprinkle. Homemade. Oh my god, these guys smell so good, and that's what it looks like. Oh my goodness, you're gonna love it. It's gonna bring you back to your childhood. It totally brings me back. So I'm going to load this guy up. I have a little French roll. And make it sloppy. And there you go. Isn't he adorable? Delicious too. Look at that guy. He's delicious. Okay, so make sure you grate 1 block of cheese. And this is just 8 ounces, okay? And I'm going to take half a stick of butter. And that's just 4 tablespoons. Okay, 1/4 cup of flour plus 1 tablespoon. Trust me. I know it seems weird, but you need that. Okay, we're gonna slowly melt the butter and cook that flour. You want to make sure you really cook that flour. You want to smell like baked bread. Like when bread is done baking, that's the smell you want. So make sure everything's melted through and that flour is really cooked through before you add that milk. Okay. This is just a basic sauce. It's called bechamel. So once your bechamel is a white sauce is done, then we can add our liquids. Start boiling your pasta, and I'm gonna take, and it's just 1 pound of pasta. I'm gonna take this small of a macaroni. I think it tastes better and it's more like kid friendly, I guess. I'm boiling my pasta in the back. I don't want to move the camera because it's in a tripod. It's easier for me. So the butter's melting and then the flour is cooking away. So you want to cook away all that rawness. Trust me. You want to do that. I went to a party once and I tested the pasta and it tasted like raw flour. Yeah. I didn't tell that whole... Oh, wait, did I tell that? No. Oh, it's my brother's. Throwing him under the bus. So don't do that. I'm gonna make sure that that flour is cooked all the way through. It takes a little bit of time. It's not like a real, like what is that called? The French one that they do for the gumbo. It's not like a blackened one, but see, we're getting there. You learn to brown it. You just want it cooked the rawness away. Let me see. Let me smell. Oh, it smells so good. It smells like butter. Okay, my pan is heating up a little too much. It's a Le Creuset and it kind of retains a lot of heat, so I would probably do it in just a stainless steel pot. But it's brown, so it's there. So I'm gonna turn it down. Okay, so I'm gonna add 2 cups of milk. You can add it slowly. It's gonna cook. If you want, you can warm up the milk like a couple seconds in the microwave, so it makes it easier. Okay, she's getting thick. That's what we want. See, everything's well combined. Yeah, this pot really heats up. I should have used another one. Oh well. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Okay, now that we've stirred in our 2 cups of milk, now we're gonna add 1 cup of heavy cream. Okay, in goes our cream. Oh my goodness. My bechamel sauce is done. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, just like half a teaspoon of salt. And in goes our cheese. Look at that big old mountain of cheese. Oh my god, my daughter's gonna love this. She's gonna be so happy. And whisk until that's melted through. Oh my goodness. I usually don't do dairy, so she's gonna be so happy. Just because you don't do something doesn't mean your kids don't have to, you know? They love it. They're so, oh my god, look at that sauce. It's amazing. The best, I swear. Okay, so you wanna cook your macaroni past al dente, so just cook it regularly according to the box. And the thing is, what was I gonna say? Make sure you do not rinse your macaroni because you want that starchy liquid to thicken your sauce. Oh my goodness, look how gooey and delicious that is. It is the most amazing mac and cheese you will ever have. And about the roux, it wasn't supposed to be brown, so it was just supposed to be white until it was thoroughly cooked. So, but it's perfect. I mean, it came out still pretty good. Just make sure you're using a stainless steel pot, not a cast iron. How is it?
It's delicious.
You like it? Do you approve?
Yes, I approve.
Does she approve? Yeah, it's pretty good. I tried a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching. Try to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Mwah! Besito, cuídense. Take care of your children. Feed them. Everything. Let them experience life, you know, because life is flavor. Thank you guys so much for watching. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Try to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. No. I lost the footage of the granola, and I had to film another one, and I just found it while I was editing. I was like, no. Oh well.